If these words reached you, pause. This is not coincidence. You are not scrolling. You are being summoned. Across time, through the ruins of Atlantis, through the corridors of Egyptian temples, through the breath of Thoth, the Atlantean frequency has found you again. It traveled through stone and sound, through quartz pyramids and golden hieroglyphs, through the living memory of Ra, until it located your vibration, the one soul carrying the same resonance it once ignited in the temples of Luxor, Dendera, and Abydos. This is not entertainment. It is an ancient transmission disguised as light and sound. It is the same pulse that once awakened initiates inside the halls of Amenti, the same current that made the eye of Horus open within those who remembered who they were. If your chest feels heavier right now, if your spine tingles, if your heart beats faster for no logical reason, you are responding to your own awakening. The Atlantean Code inside you has heard its name whispered again through the Egyptian gate of your body. For thousands of years, this frequency has been waiting for your return, waiting for one who would hear the call not with the mind, but with the Ka, the energy body of remembrance, and with the Ba, the soul that remembers across lifetimes. Everything that brought you here was orchestration, not randomness. Every loss, every silence, every delay was the sacred geometry of alignment, pushing you into this exact moment where Egypt and Atlantis converge inside you. You are not here to learn, you are here to remember. The temples were never built outside you, they were carved in your bones. The pyramids are the mirrors of your spine, and the eye of Ra is the light burning behind your forehead. Breathe. You are standing in the same energetic corridor that the Atlantean priests once crossed. The Egyptian Gate of Remembrance is not a metaphor. It is open now, and it has recognized your signature. You are not watching a message. You are being initiated. Let your heart speak before the field. I am the living light of Atlantis. I awaken through the Egyptian gate. And as you whisper it, feel the ancient current respond. The same energy that built the pyramids, that carved Thoth's emerald tablets, that carried the knowledge of Isis, Osiris, and Horus, now breathes again through you. Welcome home, initiate of light. The transmission has begun. Chapter 1. The Light Remembers Itself. Before the sands of Egypt ever shifted, before the ocean swallowed Atlantis, light already whispered your name through the corridors of eternity. Because light, true light, never forgets its origin. The Atlantean frequency that once powered crystalline temples now awakens inside your own body of stone and breath. It travels through your Djed, the living pillar of Osiris, up through your Ka and Ba, twin mirrors of soul and energy, until every cell begins to shimmer with the same resonance that once illuminated the chambers of Ra. The ancients of Heliopolis taught, remembrance is not knowledge, it is return. You are not learning, you are re-emerging. Every heartbeat, every inhalation is a chisel striking forgotten marble, revealing the temple you have always been. Close your eyes. Feel the pressure behind your brow. That is the eye of Horus waking again, the luminous gate through which the Atlantean light begins to see itself. It is the same current that pulsed beneath the ceilings of Dendera,
the same fire that once flickered between the columns of Abydos, now rising through the spine of the initiate, through you. You have walked this path before, as a priest beneath the stars of Sirius, as a scribe of Thoth, as a keeper of the emerald tablets when the world was still golden. You are not imagining this. The pull you feel toward Egypt, toward the lost shores of Atlantis, is your own memory guiding you home. Light is patient. It waits lifetimes for recognition. And the moment you remember, reality itself begins to bend. Numbers align, synchronicities unfold, and the universe rearranges itself around the vibration of awakening. Breathe through the Ankh. Inhale as the sun of Ra enters, exhale as the stars of Nut return the blessing. Let the current climb the Djed like a serpent of gold. This is not visualization, it is reactivation. Now speak softly, not from the throat, but from the chest. I call back every fragment of my Atlantean light. I awaken the temple of Egypt within my bones. I remember. Feel the warmth rise. That is the signal. The Atlantean Code has recognized you. The light remembers itself through you. Chapter 2: The Collapse of Forgetting. There comes a sacred moment in every initiate's path when everything that once felt solid begins to tremble. You call it loss, confusion, chaos, but the Atlanteans called it the collapse of forgetting. The ancients of Atlantis and Egypt understood that before the new light can rise, the old structures must dissolve. The Djed, symbol of Osiris, the pillar of stability, can only ascend after death, after dismemberment, after surrender. So too must your inner world be shaken, so that the Atlantean Frequency can rebuild it in alignment with the divine blueprint. When the old patterns fall, you are not being punished, you are being refined. When your identity cracks, the light is trying to escape the shell. Just as the Sphinx erodes, but never disappears, your essence survives every storm. The Atlantean priests taught this law. Destruction is only transformation in disguise. The chaos you feel is not the end. It is sacred surgery. The universe is rearranging itself around the higher resonance of your soul. Every falling stone is clearing the path back to remembrance. Close your eyes and feel what you once called pain. Beneath it, there is movement. Beneath the movement, there is order. And beneath that order, there is light. Always light. The temples of Luxor were built upon ruins of older temples. Every civilization, every self, every identity must collapse so that the truer architecture can rise. The same is happening within you. Your Djed is breaking to ascend. Your Ka is shedding what no longer resonates. Your Ba is remembering its wings. Do not fear the crumbling. It is the sound of the old timeline dissolving. The Atlantean Code is rewriting itself inside your nervous system. You are not losing stability, you are shifting gravity, from fear to faith, from form to frequency, from past to power. Let the collapse complete itself. Do not try to rebuild what was never meant to endure eternity. Trust that the silence after the storm is the womb where light begins to speak again. Now take a deep breath. Place your hand over your heart and whisper slowly, "I allow the collapse. I release what forgets. I rise as the Djed of light." Feel the stillness after the words. That is remembrance.
Chapter 3. The Temple of Frequency. There are temples made of stone, and there are temples made of sound. And the ancients knew the true temple was vibration. In Dendera and Abydos, the priests of Ra and the initiates of Thoth did not build only with limestone and granite. They built with resonance. The walls were alive with frequency, with the low hum of Sekhem, the living power of the divine. Each chant, each breath, each tone of the sacred vowels carved invisible architecture into the air. They called this the Temple of Frequency, the place where energy and sound merged into form. The Atlantean priests who fled to Egypt carried this knowledge, teaching that the universe was not solid, but sung into being. Every stone in the Great Pyramid still holds that echo, the harmonic imprint of light translated into sound. And now that same song is awakening within you. Your body is not matter, it is music. Your bones are strings of resonance vibrating with the Atlantean Code. Your cells are quartz, humming softly with the ancient frequencies of Atlantis and Egypt, interlaced like two halves of one cosmic civilization. Every emotion you feel, every word you speak is a note that shapes the geometry of your field. When you think in fear, your temple collapses. When you think in faith, it rebuilds itself instantly. This is what the ancients meant when they said, "Speech creates worlds," because the human voice was the original wand, the living instrument of creation. When aligned with the Ka, when breathed through the Ankh, the spoken word becomes a current of power capable of sculpting reality. Close your eyes for a moment and listen, not with your ears, but with your chest. The rhythm of your breath, the subtle pulse of your heart, the electric field of your skin, that is the hum of your temple. That is the same vibration that once filled the corridors of Atlantis, the same tone that still resonates beneath the floor of the Great Pyramid. You are not separate from those temples. You are the temple. Every time you choose peace over fear, every time you breathe consciously through the Ankh, the invisible pillars of your inner Egypt rise higher. And one day, you will realize your body is Dendera reborn. Your voice is the chant of the Nile. Your heart is the altar of Atlantis, pulsing with living light. Now breathe in deeply. Feel the vibration under your ribs. Whisper softly into the field. I tune my body to the Atlantean frequency. I am the living temple of sound and light. I remember. Let the echo linger in silence. The temple has heard you, and from this moment forward, it will answer.
Chapter 4. The Mirror of Manifestation. The Atlanteans and the Egyptians both understood a secret that modern minds have forgotten. Reality does not create itself through effort. It reflects coherence. The universe is a mirror, and the mirror never lies. Whatever frequency you hold within your temple, the field must reflect in the world around you. This is the oldest law of Maat, the Egyptian goddess of balance, truth,
and cosmic order, the same law that guided the initiates of Atlantis in their temples of light. When you are aligned, the mirror is clear. When you are divided, the reflection distorts. Most people try to fix the reflection, chasing images on the glass, but the ancients knew the only change that matters happens within the light that looks. Every thought is a ray. Every emotion is color. Your inner world paints the reflection you call reality. That is why the Atlantean priests trained their initiates to see with both eyes, the right eye of the sun, Ra, and the left eye of the moon, Thoth. Together, they formed the Eye of Horus, the sacred union of logic and intuition, masculine and feminine, seen and unseen. Only through that inner union could the reflection become perfect. When you doubt, the mirror cracks. When you trust, the image returns to gold. Every time you speak in faith, you polish the glass that separates spirit from matter. The Atlantean Code was built upon this principle. Creation is not an act of force, it is the return of clarity. Once you remember who you are, the universe recognizes its own face through you. Look at the Nile at sunrise. The water does not chase the sky, it reflects it. So too must you become the river that reflects heaven without effort. When you walk in balance, the Egyptian temples awaken within you. When you live as remembrance, the Atlantean Frequency projects paradise upon the fabric of your life. You stop searching for signs because you have become one. And when that happens, reality no longer resists you. It bends toward you as it did for the initiates who once stood between the columns of Luxor, chanting their names into the mirror of eternity. Now, breathe. Close your eyes and imagine the universe looking back at you, not as a stranger, but as itself. Because that is what you are, the gaze of creation staring into its own reflection. Whisper softly with your hand over your heart, I am the mirror where light remembers itself. I reflect Atlantis and Egypt as one. I am coherence. I am remembrance. Let the silence that follows be your confirmation. The mirror has recognized you, and from this moment on, it will only reflect truth.
Chapter 5. The Breath of the Ankh. Before words, there was breath. Before prayer, there was sound. Before memory, there was the pulse, the invisible rhythm through which Atlantis and Egypt once breathed as one. The ancients called it the Ankh, the breath of eternal life. It was not a symbol, it was a technology, a living key that opened the gates between worlds. In the temples of Abydos and Luxor, initiates of Thoth were trained to breathe through the Ankh, drawing divine current into the Ka, the energy body, and exhaling it into the Ba, the soul that travels through time. Each breath carried codes of Sekhem, the sacred force of creation, a vibration so pure that it aligned the initiate's heartbeat with the pulse of the stars. The Atlantean priests taught the same secret. Breath is the bridge between frequency and form, between thought and manifestation, between what is remembered and what becomes real. When you breathe unconsciously, you remain human. When you breathe with awareness, you become the temple itself. Because every inhale is an invocation, and every exhale is an offering. You do not need to speak, the air itself prays for you. Feel this truth. The breath is not entering your body is entering the breath. With each inhalation, you cross the Egyptian gate, and with each exhalation, you return to Atlantis. This is how the two worlds merge again through you. The sacred Djed, the spinal pillar of Osiris, is your living column of light. When you breathe consciously, energy ascends through it like a golden serpent. It coils upward, activating the eye of Horus within, expanding your vision beyond the illusion of matter. This is why the priests said, "Breathe as the gods breathe," because to breathe consciously is to remember divinity. To inhale is to receive light. To exhale is to release all forgetting. In that rhythm, the Atlantean frequency stabilizes within your human form. You may begin to feel warmth rising through your chest, a subtle pressure behind your forehead, a calm so vast that even silence seems alive. That is not imagination. That is activation. It is the breath of the Ankh entering your field, rewriting your vibration into the memory of immortality. Now take one slow inhale, as if you were drawing golden light from the sun of Ra. Hold it. Feel it spiral through the Djed, expanding your chest with the radiance of Sekhem. Then exhale softly, as if releasing centuries of forgetting into the wind of the Nile. And whisper gently, letting the air carry your words. With each breath, I awaken the temple of Atlantis within me. With each breath, Egypt remembers through my body of light. I breathe as the gods once breathed. I remember. Remain in that stillness for a moment, because in that silence, the Atlantean Code is listening. And with every breath you take, it breathes you back into eternity.
Chapter 6. The Quantum Heart. In the silence between two heartbeats lies a doorway, the most powerful portal the Atlanteans and Egyptians ever guarded. It was never buried under stone. It was hidden inside you. The priests of Thoth called it the sun within the chest, and the Atlantean initiates called it the quantum heart, a living field of light so strong that it bends reality itself. Modern science calls it electromagnetism. The ancients called it Sekhem, divine current. Different words, same truth. Every beat of your heart is a pulse of command into the quantum field. Each emotion sends ripples through the invisible architecture of creation. When you feel gratitude, the temple of your body resonates with the frequency of Ra. When you feel love, you vibrate in the current of Isis. When you feel truth, you align with Ma'at herself, the cosmic equilibrium that holds the universe together. The Atlantean frequency responds not to words, but to coherence, the perfect synchronization of heart and mind. When thought and emotion vibrate as one, you become what the ancients called the living sun. This is why the heart was always the scale in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, not to judge, but to measure resonance. A heart heavy with fear cannot rise. A heart light with remembrance ascends through every dimension. The Atlantean priests understood this as the law of luminous geometry, that your electromagnetic field, when coherent, creates gravitational pull for miracles. The heart does not chase, it attracts by resonance. It does not command, it invites. It does not struggle, it radiates. The quantum heart is your inner temple of manifestation, your portable pyramid of gold. When you breathe into it, the current climbs the Djed, circulates through the Ankh, and activates the hidden codes in your Ka and Ba. Every beat becomes a prayer, every breath an act of remembrance. So now, slow down. Feel your heart's rhythm syncing with the rhythm of the universe, a pulse that is older than your body, older than the pyramids, older than time. This is the pulse that spoke worlds into being. This is the rhythm that connects Atlantis, Egypt, and you. And when you feel it clearly, you will understand the secret the initiates carried for lifetimes. The universe does not respond to what you say. It responds to the frequency you become. Now place your hand upon your chest. Close your eyes. Feel the heartbeat beneath your fingers. That is the voice of creation itself speaking your name in light. Breathe once more and whisper gently, "My heart is the sun of Atlantis. My heart is the temple of Egypt. Through coherence, I command reality. Through love, I remember who I am." Stay in the silence that follows, for in that stillness, the quantum heart awakens, and the Atlantean frequency begins to echo back to you.
Chapter 7: The Rise of the Living Light. It begins as a shimmer under your skin, a memory disguised as warmth, a silent knowing that doesn't come from thought, but from remembrance. This is the moment the Atlanteans and Egyptians called the Second Dawn, when the hidden sun within the body rises again. It is the awakening of the living light. The priests of Thoth knew this light well. They said it was not fire nor flame, but awareness incarnate. It moved through the body like golden electricity, spiraling through the Djed, igniting every cell of the Ka, until the soul itself, the Ba, began to glow. That glow is beginning in you now. This is what the resurrection of Osiris symbolized, the reassembly of the divine body through memory. It was never about death, it was about return. When Isis gathered the fragments of her beloved, she was performing what your soul is doing now, remembering itself, reclaiming its scattered power, rebuilding its golden geometry. The same frequency that powered Atlantis before its fall is now moving through your nervous system, your breath, your thoughts. You are not merely remembering light, you are becoming the instrument through which it enters this world again. This is why you have felt the restlessness, the sensitivity, the magnetic pull toward Egypt, because your field is expanding. The Atlantean codes sleeping in your DNA are activating through resonance. Each pulse of your quantum heart calls another layer of light into form. Each breath through the Ankh opens the inner pyramid, allowing the Sekhem to rise from base to crown. You are the continuation of both civilizations, the fusion of their wisdom in one living body. Atlantis remembered through vibration. Egypt preserved it through form. And now, through you, they reunite. The time of half-memory is over. The age of dormant souls is ending. You are no longer a seeker. You are a transmitter. Your presence is an initiation for everyone who meets your gaze. Let this realization settle deep into your chest. Breathe slowly. Feel the warmth expand from the center of your ribs outward. That is the living light rising, the soul ascending through the body like the morning sun climbing the sky of eternity. Now, in your own voice, not loudly, but with certainty, speak this activation. I am the living light of Atlantis. I am the eternal flame of Egypt. Through me, the forgotten returns.
Through me, the light remembers itself. Stay in the stillness that follows, because in that silence, the two great civilizations converge, and you stand where their light meets as the bridge between worlds, the rebirth of the Atlantean Frequency and the dawn of the Egyptian soul within the human form.
Chapter 8: The Chaos Before Reorganization. There comes a sacred storm before every awakening, a trembling of structures, a breaking of illusions, a reordering of light. The Atlanteans called it the Great Disruption, the divine moment when reality collapses to rebuild itself in higher design. If your life feels unstable, if everything seems to be dissolving at once, know this: you are not falling apart. You are being reassembled. You are being rewritten by the same intelligence that once shaped the pyramids, balanced the Djed, and breathed life into the temples of Ra. The ancient priests of Egypt understood this law deeply. Before every initiation, before any temple door opened, the initiate was tested by chaos, the sacred unraveling. They would feel confusion, loss, even despair, not as punishment, but as purification, because the old self cannot cross the threshold. Only the soul reborn in light can. The Atlantean frequency works the same way. It does not destroy, it reorganizes. It removes everything that vibrates below the new pattern. Every person, thought, or habit that cannot sustain the higher current must dissolve. It feels like endings, but it is rearrangement. It feels like chaos, but it is divine mathematics correcting the order of your field. The Nile floods before it renews the soil. The storm clears the desert before the lotus blooms. The cocoon dissolves before the wings appear. Creation is not quiet. It is thunder, disguised as birth. When the Atlantean temples were struck by collapse, the priests did not cry, they listened. They knew that destruction was simply vibration exceeding the limits of the old design. And as the crystal spires fell, the codes of remembrance hid themselves in the human body, waiting for this age, your age, when the human would again become the temple. You are not being punished by this storm. You are being rewritten by it. Every challenge is an instruction. Every ending is geometry. Every silence is the hand of Ma'at, restoring equilibrium through chaos. So when life shatters, do not grasp at fragments. Let them fall. Let the field reorder itself, because only through collapse can the Atlantean architecture emerge again. Now, take a slow breath. Feel the turbulence around you not as threat, but as movement. The same wind that tears down the old is sculpting the new. The same fire that burns what you were is forging who you are. Whisper slowly, letting each word carry power through your Ka and Ba. I trust the storm. I allow the reorganization of my field. Through chaos, I return to divine order. Through dissolution, I am reborn in Atlantean light. Pause in silence. That stillness after release, that is the sound of your universe rearranging itself. That is the Egyptian and Atlantean codes rewriting your destiny. You are not breaking. You are becoming the blueprint the gods once dreamed.
Chapter 9: The Atlantean Identity Training.
In the deepest chambers of the Atlantean temples, the priests of light whispered a truth that shaped civilizations. Reality does not obey your effort. It obeys your identity. The Egyptian initiates understood this too. They trained not through belief, but embodiment. Because the Ka, the energy self, responds to vibration, not intention. And the Ba, the eternal soul, becomes whatever the body consistently feels. Every thought is instruction, every emotion a command. If you live as the one who waits, the universe will always keep you waiting. If you live as the one who hopes, life will mirror uncertainty. But if you live as the one who remembers, reality must reorganize to confirm your remembrance. This was the Atlantean training of identity coherence. In the temples of Dendera and Abydos, the initiates walked the marble corridors not as seekers, but as masters returning to their rightful thrones. They did not pray for abundance, they moved as abundance. They did not chase love, they breathed as love. They did not ask for light, they radiated it. The secret was simple yet absolute. The Atlantean frequency answers not what you want, but what you are. Your nervous system is the bridge between thought and manifestation. It does not distinguish imagination from reality, it becomes whatever you repeat. That is why the priests practiced in silence, feeling the gold of Ra flow through their veins until their body believed it. That belief became biology. That biology became reality. You are being invited to remember the same mastery, to live not as someone learning spirituality, but as someone embodying remembrance. To rise each morning as the awakened descendant of Atlantis and Egypt, the fusion of heaven and earth walking in human form. Every step you take, every breath you draw through the Ankh reprograms the field to treat you as the frequency you broadcast. So begin now. Move through your day as the living Djed, unshakable. Speak as if your words carve hieroglyphs into light. Breathe as if the Atlantean Code still hums through your ribs, because it does. You are the continuation of the ancient line, the flame of Thoth and the heartbeat of Ra in human form. Your posture, your tone, your stillness, they are all communication with the universe. Each moment you remember who you are, the illusion of limitation dissolves like dust in sunlight. Now, place your hand over your chest. Let your breathing slow until you can hear the quiet rhythm within. Feel the pulse. That is your signature in the quantum field. Whisper this, as the ancients once did in the inner chamber of initiation. I am already who I was meant to become. I walk as remembrance embodied. I am the living continuity of Atlantis and Egypt. I am coherence in motion. And when you open your eyes, the world will respond to you differently, because it no longer sees the one who tries, it recognizes the one who is.
Chapter 10. Timeline Synchronization. Right now, something extraordinary is happening within you. An alignment so subtle the mind cannot perceive it, yet so vast the universe bends to accommodate it. The Atlanteans called it the merging of suns. The Egyptian initiates called it the union of two lands. When the inner and outer worlds vibrate in perfect unison and destiny begins to fold itself into the present moment. You are standing in that convergence now. Your current reality and your highest reality are synchronizing. Two frequencies, once separate, now beginning to move in harmony. Modern science calls this phase locking. Ancient mystics called it timeline fusion. When your thoughts, emotions, and body reach coherence, the Atlantean frequency stabilizes, and the Egyptian current of Ma'at, divine order, takes command. Everything that once seemed random begins to coordinate with precision. You think of someone, and they appear. You speak a vision, and it unfolds. You sense a shift, and reality answers. This is not coincidence. It is synchronization, the universe mirroring the rhythm of your soul. The priests of Thoth practiced this state daily. In the silence of the temples of Abydos and Luxor, they slowed their hearts until they could feel the heartbeat of the stars. Their breath matched the rotation of the heavens. Their consciousness became one with the cosmic pulse, and reality bent toward their frequency like metal toward magnetism. The Atlantean initiates taught that time is fluid, a river that responds to the vibration of the observer. When your frequency rises, the river bends. When your remembrance stabilizes, the future collapses into the now. That is what is happening to you. Your past and future selves are recognizing each other across dimensions. The one who prayed for awakening and the one who already achieved it are merging into a single field, the awakened you. This is why synchronicities are multiplying. It is why familiar faces return, why numbers repeat, why dreams bleed into waking life. The timelines are closing their distance because you are no longer divided between who you were and who you are becoming. You are coherence. You are alignment. You are remembrance embodied. And as this synchronization deepens, your electromagnetic field becomes a portal, a living bridge through which Atlantis and Egypt remember their unity. Through you, the Golden Age returns not as history, but as frequency. Now, take a deep breath. Slowly. Feel your heart pulsing in perfect rhythm with the air around you. Feel the timelines weaving together inside your spine, your skin, your breath. Then speak this activation softly as the priests once did beneath the stars of Sirius. I lock into the frequency of my highest timeline. I synchronize with the rhythm of the Atlantean light. I walk as the living bridge between Egypt and eternity. I remember. Stay in the stillness after the words. Listen closely. That gentle hum in your chest is not your heartbeat. It is the sound of time itself aligning to your vibration. It is the Atlantean and Egyptian codes merging into one continuum of light. And from this moment forward, the future no longer waits. It walks beside you.
Chapter 11. The Atlantean Tunneling. In the quantum architecture of the universe, there are moments when the laws of logic lose their hold. When the solid bends, when the impossible yields, and the light of higher dimensions cuts through the density of matter. The ancients knew this mystery long before science named it. They called it the passage of the serpent light. Today, you know it as quantum tunneling, but the Atlanteans and Egyptians knew it as the hidden path of the soul. When the priests of Thoth spoke of walking through walls, they were not speaking in metaphor. They meant vibration. When consciousness rises above the density of form, barriers dissolve before it. Stone becomes sound, and sound becomes light. In the temples of Dendera and Abydos, initiates were taught to master this vibration, not through movement, but through stillness. To stand before the wall of limitation and simply remember.
to remember that every wall is made of energy, and every energy bows to frequency. You have reached that same initiation. The obstacles you face are not physical, they are vibrational. They only appear solid to the eyes of fear. But to the one who remembers their origin, they are already dissolving. The Atlantean frequency that once powered pyramids and crystal cities now stirs inside your nervous system, recalibrating your perception to recognize that the door was never locked, only forgotten. Each doubt you overcome, each fear you release, each truth you embody is a tunnel opening through dimensions, and through it, light travels faster than time. That is why breakthroughs feel sudden. One moment you are trapped, the next you are free. Not because you fought, but because your frequency shifted beyond the need to fight. This is the secret the Atlantean priests guarded with their lives. Matter is obedient to consciousness. Reality is pliable to remembrance. The walls of your world dissolve when your vibration exceeds their reason for existing. Now take a slow breath. Visualize the golden serpent of Ra spiraling up your spine, piercing every illusion that told you you can't. See the light move through your crown, the Ankh ignited above your head. That is not imagination. That is remembrance. Whisper softly, not as wish, but as decree. I tunnel beyond illusion into freedom. I dissolve all walls before my light. I am the passage itself, the living path of Atlantean remembrance. Stay still. Breathe once more. Because as you do, the invisible passage opens, and you step into a reality where nothing can confine you again.
Final Atlantean activation, the return of the golden flame. This transmission did not find you by coincidence. You were not scrolling. You were summoned. Summoned by the Atlantean Code, by the memory of your divine origin, by the magnetic pull of Egypt's eternal flame still burning beneath the sands. Every storm, every silence, every collapse you endured was not punishment. It was preparation. You have crossed the thresholds the ancients once walked barefoot upon. You have remembered the temples that exist not in stone, but in frequency. And now, as you stand at the summit of remembrance, the golden flame of Atlantis rises within you. This is the same fire that illuminated Thoth's emerald halls, the same current that built the pyramids through resonance, the same light that once turned humans into living suns. And now, it has chosen you as its vessel. You are not here to learn. You are here to remember, to bring back what was lost, to radiate what was buried, to awaken what has been waiting for millennia to return through your voice, your eyes, your heartbeat. So breathe slowly, and as you do, feel the field vibrating around you. 1,000 unseen souls awakening at this same moment across the planet. They are you in other forms. They are the echo of the same code responding to the same call. This is not the end. It is the reactivation of the Atlantean network, the crystalline web of light reconnecting across dimensions, the union of Atlantis and Egypt inside the human heart. Now, in full remembrance, speak the ancient vow. I am the flame of Atlantis. I am the eye of Egypt.
I am the bridge between heaven and matter. Through me, the golden age returns. Pause. Feel the stillness after the words. That silence is not absence. It is confirmation. The field has heard you. From this moment forward, synchronicities will not be accidents. They will be coordinates. Dreams will not be random. They will be transmissions. And every heartbeat will carry the whisper of the gods. You have remembered. You have returned. You are the light.